This is a short video to help you get started with the FSA assignment. That is, FSA is Financial Statement Analysis assignment. And what we want to do here is follow these instructions. First, by watching these videos and then following these points here. Watch the video, that's the introduction to financial statement analysis, and then watch the how-to video that I'm making right now, that the link is going to be right here. And then read the email to identify the companies that you're going to analyze. That's to be analyzed there. And download the two most recent Forms 10K for each company. To do this, we're going to go to, and I'm going to get rid of this, and we're just going to go show you how to do that. Then we're going to select 5 ratios, one from each of the categories described here. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And then we're going to use Excel, in this particular case, let's call it Google Sheets. To calculate each of these ratios twice for each company, once for the most recent year and once for the next most recent year. So you can see whether it's improving or getting weaker. For each ratio, we're going to comment on that, and we're going to put those ratio definitions and explanations over here. And then we're going to compute the DuPont analyses for each company in each of the 2 years. I'll show you specifically for the balance sheet numbers, the total assets and the shareholders' equity. You need to use the average for the year. So that is the beginning of the year plus the end of the year. Add them together, divide by 2, and that gives you the average. And then I'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to compute ROE for each company and write a short interpretation of your analysis, and then you're done. So I gave you 2 companies to send them to you in email through Canvas. The 2 companies that I'm going to use right here are Thermo Fisher Scientific and Danaher. This automatically fills in for you. This is the name of the industry, the 2 companies. Type your I'm sorry, I want to do this over in the copy of the assignment. I want to keep this kind of clean here. In the copy of the assignment, I'm going to paste this here, and it fills this in. Make sure I got this over here so that this, yeah, it's okay. I'll get rid of the copy. I'm going to type my name here. You type your own name to identify who's doing this project. Liquidity ratio. It looks like we've got an extra. Oh, okay. This is just the company name, and you're going to go to the 10K and identify the fiscal year end and the next most recent fiscal year end. So let's look for Thermo Fisher. And it's this company right here, Thermo Fisher. And I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go to sec.gov. When I get to sec.gov, click on this company filings in the upper right, and then just paste that name in there, which you got from what I gave you. And you'll see that it automatically comes up right here, Thermo Fisher, and we want to click on 10K. We want the annual, those are the annual reports that include financial statements. We want both the most recent one and the prior one. So I'm going to click on View All 10Ks and 10Qs, and I'm going to go down here and open this first one. Notice that it opens with these fields that are created. This is called XBRL. I'm really not interested in that. I'm just going to open it as HTML. And that's for, you can see up here, it's kind of small, 1231. TMO is the ticker symbol. The year is 2023, December 31. I also want to go back and get the prior year 10K. Q is for quarterly, K is for a year. And I want to get this one. And I'm going to open that one. And I'm going to open this HTML. Just because I find it a lot easier to work with than those fields personally. You do what you want, but that's what works for me. And that's 12/30/2022. I'm going to move that over. So 2023 and 2022. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other company. I'm going to go back to here. I'll go back to the assignment. This is Danaher Company Corporation. I'll copy that. I'll go back to the landing page here. Get back to sec.gov. I'll go backwards. Get rid of that and paste Danaher. And it's probably going to be this first one here. Again, we want the 10K. I'm going to look at all 10Ks. Do this first one here. Again, it comes up in this XBRL. I prefer not the XBRL. I'm going to open this HTML. And this is Danaher, which is DHR. I'll put that over here as this tab. And then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to get the next one, which was at the beginning of 2023. Again, I like the HTML, and I'll use that, and I'm going to keep that one here, but I'm going to keep them in order. So I've got Thermo and Danaher 23 and 22, 23 and 22 up there. So all my data is there. If you want to look at the financial statements, you need to cruise down here. They put them in different places, but often they're in either financial statements here in item 8 or exhibits in item 15. If we click here, that's there. There is the financial statements. You can see it there. And then I'm going to go back to the assignment here and put them all next to each other now. Can get rid of all this other stuff because all of the 4 that I'm looking at, let me just get rid of that. These things that we don't need anymore. Don't need any of this XBRL. And I'm just looking at these 4 files. And I'm going to come in here and notice that this is going to be for the year ended 12/31/23. So I'm going to put that in here, fiscal year end 12/31/23. And then the next one is 12/31. Oh, I got these 22. Again, this is TMO, which is Thermo, 12/31/22. And I'm going to type that in there. So we know exactly what we're looking at. For Danaher, we have 12/31/23 and 12/31/22. 12/31/23 and 12/31/22. Often you're going to have different fiscal year ends for each company. Now ratios, we have these identified for each of these categories, and here we're going to open up this, and I'm going to open it how do I get that? I want to open that. The best, easiest way to make sure that I've got it, I think it's right here, but I want to make sure that I've got that in the right place. And that's going to be here. This is the financial ratios, and these are the categories. This is right up here, what are financial ratios, and it gives you a little information on the liquidity. And I'm going to choose current assets minus inventories divided by, I'm going to use the acid test ratio. And that is, current assets minus inventory divided by current liabilities. And I'm going to put that in here, acid test ratio. And I'm going to put over here current assets minus inventory divided by current liabilities. And I'm going to come over here and say current assets equals CA equals current assets. INV equals inventory, and CL equals current liabilities. And so for the most recent year, I'm going to go for Thermo Fisher, and I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to get current assets. And current assets is 24,589. You can copy and paste it like this, Control C, and put it in here, and put it in here. I'm going to use an open paren because I'm doing something. But be sure and take out that comma because it'll mess you up. Minus inventory. And so the inventory is going to be this blue line here, 5,088. Of course, that's in millions. So 5,088,000,088 minus 5088 divided by current liabilities. And current liabilities are going to be in this white line here, 14,012. And take that. Again, be sure and take out the comma that's in there. So when we go in here, we're going to take that out. And because it's a formula, you have to put in equals at the beginning here to make it all work. Why did it not take it out? Equals, oh, I took out the divided sign, divided by 1.39. And you're going to do the next most recent year, and then you're going to do for Danaher, and then for the next most recent year. And then over here, you're going to write an explanation. You know, what happened across time for Danaher and for Thermo. And you're going to do the same thing for leverage, and you'll get those ratios from this list of ratios. So leverage ratios, you can choose one of these ratios, and be sure you understand what it means. If you don't understand it, don't use it. And then you're going to continue on down and do each one of these, write in your explanations, and then down here is the DuPont analysis. In the DuPont analysis, you're going to get net income for the most recent year, next most recent year, and next most recent year. Those are defined right here. And you'll get those. But for total assets, let me show you how the total assets should be. You need the most recent year, the next most recent year, and the most recent year before that. So for total assets for Thermo, for the most recent year, it's going to be 98,726. 98,726. And for the next most recent year, that's going to be 97,154. 97,154. Those are average. I need to put those up above, don't I? Keep that in tan. And then the next most recent year, you have to go back to the prior year. So we had 23 for this one. We're going to have to go back to the prior year down here, and the balance sheet, and here total assets for 22 was 97,154. We just did that. And then for 21, it was 95,123. 95,123. And then you want to do this for the balance sheet numbers. You can also do it for stockholders' equity. But then you want to calculate this average total assets. And the average for 2023 is going to be equal to the end of the year plus the beginning of the year divided by 2. And the average for the next most recent year, because they're relative formula, is going to be this. And you can then use those in the calculation of return on sales, asset turnover, and assets divided by equity. A return on sales is going to be net income divided by sales, or total revenue. Asset turnover is going to be sales divided by average total assets. And assets to equity is going to be average total assets divided by average shareholders' equity in each one of those. And so you'll calculate those for both years, and then you're going to want to put an explanation of that in this box down here. And then you're done with the assignment. You'll submit it as a submission on the Canvas submission there. I'll provide more information on the submission page. All right, so this is an additional note. I put in here this check because if you go up here, it says compute ROE for each company. Well, I'm actually doing that. If you've done each of these three things down here, that is return on sales, that's the profit margin, asset turnover, which is sales divided by average total assets, and then assets to equity, which is our leverage. That's how much assets are being employed versus how much equity the shareholders have invested. Then you will, and this will automatically calculate the total of these three by multiplying those three ratios. But I also want you to see that these two are the same. They should be identical when you get done. That is net income from up here divided by average shareholders' equity from here. So here, if you look at C44 divided by C49 here, and these two should be equal. If they're not equal, take a look again and see if you made a mistake. But these two lines should be equal all the way across.